Hello everyone. Today we are going to start another topic on bearing capacity, that is plate load test. So what is the significance of plate load test or why this test is being carried out? So mainly the plate load test is a field test and it is conducted to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil as well as the probable settlement under a given loading. So when we will design a shallow foundation, it is very much necessary to know the bearing capacity of the soil at a particular desired depth. So this plate load test is performed in the site to determine the ultimate bearing capacity at a desired depth. So from the data collected from the plate load test, it is helpful to confirm the design assumptions made from the soil test and it is used as a design parameters. So what is basically plate load test? Plate load test is a field test which is performed to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil and the probable settlement under a particular given load. So this test is very popular for the selection and design of the shallow foundation. So for performing this test, what we need to do? The plate, it is placed at a desired depth, then the load is applied on this rigid plate at the foundation level and the settlement corresponding to each load increment is recorded. At one point, the settlement occurs at a rapid rate and the total load up to that point is calculated and divided by the area of the plate to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of soil. The ultimate bearing capacity is taken as the load at which the plate starts sinking at a rapid rate. The method assumes that down to the depth of influence of stresses, the soil strata is reasonably uniform. The ultimate bearing capacity thus obtained from the test is divided by a factor of safety whose value most of the cases varies between 2.5 to 3, and by dividing the value by factor of safety we can easily obtain the value of safe bearing capacity of the soil. So let us go through the apparatus or the equipments that are required for the plate load test. So these are the list of equipments that are needed for plate load test. So the first is the test plate, second is the hydraulic jack and pump, third is the reaction beam or the reaction truss, next is the dial gauge, pressure gauge, loading column, necessary equipments for the loading platform, tripod, plumber and spirit level. So these are the apparatus which is required for the plate load test. So let us go through the plate load test procedure. So what is the procedure for the plate load test? So let us first go through the equipments which are required. So when we have discussed regarding the bearing plate, the bearing plate must be either circular or square, which will be made up of mild steel having not less than 25 mm in thickness and varying in size between 300 to 750 mm with grooved bottom. Normally, the plate is provided with handle for convenient setting and center marked. Next, the test pit, where the test will be done. The test pit is usually at the foundation level, have normally width equals to 5 times the test plate. So we have to excavate the test pit up to the desired depth. Then the size of the pit should be at least minimum of 5 times the size of the plate as we have taken. At the center of the pit, a small hole or depression will be created. The size of the hole will be similar to that of the size of the plate. The bottom level of the hole should be corresponding to the level of the actual foundation. the depth of the hole is created, that the ratio of the depth to width of the hole will be equal to the ratio of the actual depth to the actual width of the foundation. The mild steel plate, which has already been discussed, whose thickness will vary between 25 mm and size will vary from 300 to 750 mm, will be kept on the pit that has been discussed earlier. So a column is placed at the center of the plate. The load will be transferred to the plate through the centrally placed column. Here is the test setup for the plate load test. So here we can see that the loading platform is there, which is attached with a jack and ball and socket arrangement. So there we can easily see the dial gauge, the test plate or the block and the pit. And this load will be transferred to the column either by the gravity loading method or by the thrust method. For gravity loading method, a platform will be constructed over the column and the load will be applied to the platform by means of the sandbags, as you can see in the figure. Or any other kind of dead load can be used. The hydraulic jack will be placed in between the column and the loading platform for the application of gradual loading. So this type of loading is known as reaction loading. At least minimum 2 dial gauge should be placed at the diagonal corners of the plate to record the settlement. The gauges normally placed on the platform so that it does not settle with the plate. So we have to apply a load of 7 ton per meter square and release before the actual loading starts. The initial loading are being noted. Then the load will be applied through the hydraulic jack and will be increased gradually. The increment of the load will be 1/5 of the expected safe bearing capacity or 1/10 of the ultimate bearing capacity or any other smaller value. The applied load will be noted from the pressure gauge. The settlement will be observed for each increment of load and from the dial gauge also. So after increasing the load settlement, it should be observed after 1, 4, 10, 20, 40 and 60 minutes and after that at an hourly interval until the rate of settlement will reduce to 0.02 mm per hour or will be less than that. The reading will be noted in a tabular form. So after computing the collection of data for a particular loading, the next load of increment is applied again and the readings are noted under the new load. The increment and data collection is continuously repeated until the maximum load will be applied. The maximum load normally or generally is taken as 1.5 times the expected ultimate load or 3 times the expected allowable bearing pressure. So how to calculate the bearing capacity from the plate load test? So after collecting the data obtained from the field test, a load settlement curve is drawn. So what is the load settlement curve? Load settlement curve is nothing but a logarithmic graph. So where the load applied is plotted on the x-axis and settlement is plotted on the y-axis. From the graph, the ultimate load for the plate load test is obtained, which is the corresponding load for settlement for 1/5 of the plate width. So here is the graph showing the load versus settlement, where settlement is in the y-axis and load is in the x-axis. So after the points are being plotted on the graph, the curve is broken at one point. As we can see in the graph, it is broken at a particular point. The corresponding load to that break point is considered to be the ultimate load on the plate. The ultimate bearing capacity can be calculated from the ultimate load from the plate. This ultimate bearing capacity is then divided by a suitable factor of safety to determine the safe bearing capacity of the soil from the foundation. So what are the mainly equations that are used for calculating the bearing capacity of the soil? So for the clay soil is concerned, so ultimate bearing capacity will be equal to the ultimate load for the plate in case of cohesive soil or clay soil. In case of cohesionless soil or sandy soil, the value of the ultimate bearing capacity will be equal to ultimate load for the plate multiplied by width of the pit divided by the size of the plate. This for the sandy soil and the previous one for the clay soil. The safe bearing capacity is then formulated by the formula ultimate bearing capacity by a suitable factor of safety. So how we will calculate the settlement from the plate load test? So for clay soil, the settlement calculation is given by settlement of the foundation is equal to settlement of the plate multiplied by width of the pit divided by the size of the plate. So there we can find out the settlement of the plate when clay soil are being concerned. So for sandy soil or cohesionless soil, what will be the settlement of the foundation? The settlement of the foundation is given by settlement of the plate multiplied by width of the pit multiplied by size of the plate plus 0.3 whole square divided by size of the plate multiplied by width of the pit plus 0.3 whole square. So this is the formula for foundation settlement in sandy soil as well as in clay soil. So there are some bit limitations for the plate load test. So plate load test has some following limitations, that is the test result which is obtained from the plate load test only reflect the character of the soil located within the depth less than twice the width of the bearing plate. And since the foundations are generally larger, the settlement and the resistance against shear failure will depend on the property of a much thicker stratum. Next limitation is it is essential a short duration test. Normally it is carried out for a very short duration. So when the test does not give the ultimate settlement, for particularly in case of cohesive soil, because we know that settlement for cohesive soil requires a large duration of time. Hence its applicability for cohesive soil is a bit concerned. Next is the size of the foundation. Exclusively for clay soil, the ultimate pressure for a larger foundation is the same as that for the test plate. But in dense or sandy soil, the bearing capacity increases with the size of the foundation. And tests on the smaller size bearing plates tend to give the smaller value. So hence this is not practically possible. Hence there are some limitations for the plate load test. This test is only applied where feasibility of the test is being possible and gives correct result only for cohesionless soil.